When you first start playing Starfield, there's a very good chance you're going to be overwhelmed in a number of ways. Overwhelmed by the sheer amount of choice given to you when it comes to creating a character, by the absurd amount of loot lying on the ground every 10 steps you take, and also, just the sheer vastness of space. It's a lot to take in, and so to help you focus your energy in the right direction, here are all of the things that you should do first in Starfield. Let's start this off with character creation. With a lot of character creators, once you make your character, you're stuck with it, and so there's a little extra pressure to make it as perfect as can be. But in Starfield, it's very easy to change any cosmetic aspect of your character by visiting specific vendors throughout the galaxy who can make you a whole new you. Just know that it will cost you a handful of credits. Your background choice, on the other hand, does matter a fair bit.
I forgot Explorer was on your application. Must have been slow work when you don't have a ship.
Your background choice gives you your 3 starting skills, and having even just one skill in these unique options makes a huge difference, especially the ones that are required to perform a particular action. For example, you won't get the indicator that lets you know when you're hidden or detected when you're trying to sneak if you don't have a point in the stealth skill. You can't pickpocket unless you have a point in theft. You can't boost with your boost pack until you have the boost training skill. As far as we know right now, there's no way to refund these points, so do think carefully about what kind of character you want to make, and choose the background that aligns most closely with that. Almost every trait has both a positive and negative to it, and you can really put yourself in a tight bind if you don't remember both sides of the coin. If you take Dream House, you'll be asked to pay 125,000 credits to Galbank, or pay a small 500 credit fine occasionally, but the upside is you get a huge safe storage space for gear, even contraband. If you choose kid stuff, you'll have some delightful encounters with your parents.
Honey, we got ourselves a visitor. I'll get the coffee brewing.
And some embarrassing ones.
I assumed it was all right to let your parents in here, but maybe they shouldn't stay for long.
But you will send them a small fee weekly as well. If you take Terra Firma, keep in mind before picking a fight that you're much weaker in space than you are on a planet's surface. It is possible to remove these traits later on in the game by various means, so don't worry too much about this choice. After character creation. After you're done talking with Hella and Lynn, you might as well loot everything in the room. And after the upcoming fight against the Crimson Fleet, loot all their bodies as well. In the future, you won't want to be this loot happy, but since you're about to board your ship and can offload all your junk into your ship's storage, then flip it all once you arrive at New Atlantis, you don't need to worry about that right now. In the future, you'll want to loot only the stuff you can equip or use. Helmets, spacesuits, a bunch of Maelstrom machine guns, materials, digipicks and the like are all worth hauling. Coffee cups and notepads are not. If you do fill up your inventory earlier than expected, try to prioritize items with low weight and high value, like books, antiques, and certain desk ornaments. There are 2 forms of storage on your ship. The main cargo hold, which you can expand through the very complex shipbuilder, and the captain's locker. Remember, your companion can also haul a lot of gear, so use them as well.
Certainly. I consider myself the curator of your item museum.
Once you've reached the top of the Crete Research Lab, you'll open the door to the roof and see 3 pirates standing there waiting for you.
You gotta be kidding me. The Frontier has a new captain?
If you interact with them, you'll get your first lesson in persuading an enemy. Our recommendation is to not even bother with this and just kill them. Why? Well, mainly because the captain will drop some sort of rare weapon that is usually worth the trouble. It's a random drop though, so if you're down with save scumming, save before the fight, and reload if you're not happy with what you got. Landing at New Atlantis. If at this point you've kept up with looting, both your ship and personal storage should be nearly maxed out, which is perfect since the first thing you can interact with on New Atlantis is a vendor kiosk with 5,000 credits. You should have enough weapons, spacesuits, packs, and junk to completely drain the kiosk of its credits. You can sell right from your ship's hold, so no need to load that into your own bag before heading to the shop. And then look at you, you've barely landed in your first major city, and you're already rich with credits. If you fully tap out the kiosk's credit limit, there's also a store called Jemison Mercantile just past the security checkpoint on the left. Once you reach New Atlantis, you're able to book it towards the Lodge, which is where you'll meet the members of Constellation and get wrapped up in your first big mission. Our recommendation is to put on your blinders, ignore all the distractions, and power through the main quest for a few hours, until at the very least you complete the quest Into the Unknown. There's a few reasons for this, but before we go into them, we're going to drop a quick spoiler warning just in case anyone is particularly sensitive to minor story and gameplay spoilers. Alright, so the first reason to go through the main quest is that once you start the old neighborhood, you'll gain access to the entirety of the Lodge, Constellation's main HQ, which includes the basement area that houses many useful items, weapons, every type of crafting table, and unlimited storage space in your bedroom for everything that you want to hold on to. Secondly, completing these quests will reward you with a ton of XP, credits, and some pretty solid early gear that you'll get both as a reward and from looting the areas that you'll be exploring by way of these quests. The big reason you'll want to do this though is that you'll be rewarded with a very special thing that we don't want to spoil for you just yet. And that reward will also open up the possibility of finding more of those special things. Just take our word for it, and progress all the way through the quest Into the Unknown. You'll be thankful that you did. Once you're satisfied with your main quest progress and want to go off the main path, the best way to find new things to do is to check your activities list in your quest log. Oftentimes you'll gain a side quest without even realizing it, just by running past an NPC that shouts something to you.
You see that scientist out in front of mast, staring at trees, sounds upset? Whatever it is, it can't be that bad, right?
These activities can start you on long, winding side quests, or they could just be a quick little conversation that nets you some quick XP or credits.
We're supposed to be investigating a power drain down here. People have been reporting brownouts for a while.
Specific quests to follow. One specific type of side quest that will pay off quick and early is a faction side quest. One that we recommend is the Vanguard faction, which you can start simply by talking to the recruiter behind the desk at Mast. He's also Sarah's contact, so you should be talking with him anyway if you're following the main storyline.
I still haven't given up on getting Sarah to re-enlist.
It's a game we play. He asks, I say no.
You'll gain some cash right up front after a quick flight test simulator.
You've defeated sufficient opponents to pass the exam.
And you'll get some more rewards after you're sworn in.
Then let me be the first to officially welcome you to the United Colonies Vanguard.
It also puts you on the path to do the Crimson Fleet faction mission. And hey, I'm not going to tell you what kind of person to be in Starfield, but I will say that smuggling and selling contraband through them is one of the best ways to make money in Starfield.
Once again, we are triumphant.
Did you take that trait that causes your parents to still be alive? Maybe you got the dream home trait. Do you have an adoring fan?
Is it you? Is it really, really you?
If you do, you might as well reap the benefits of these choices. These aren't the most immediately rewarding quest lines, but some of them do pay off in interesting ways if you see them through, so make sure to get those activities started. And those are 10 things that we suggest that you do in Starfield. Obviously, this is a huge game, and part of the fun is charting your own unique path through it, but hopefully you'll understand where we're coming from with our recommendations. Thanks for watching, and for more Starfield, make sure to check out our guide on all of the things it doesn't tell you. And for everything else, keep it here on IGN.